Hey guys, Danny here with the Addiction Prevention Coalition. I'm excited today for this Facebook Live interview. We have Shanta Owens with us. She is the Jefferson County Judge over Drug Court, and she has such a unique perspective on what we're dealing with in Birmingham and the surrounding areas as far as substance abuse. She's been doing this for almost 9 years now, so she kind of sees it firsthand what the problem is. And we're just going to jump in. So welcome to Facebook Live. Happy to have you.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
Yeah, one of my favorite people. She's making such a difference in the community. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Tell us about your role as Judge over Drug Court in Jefferson County, and how you ended up in this role and why you do what you do.
Okay. As you've stated, I've been here, it will be 9 years next month, and I ended up here. I was a former prosecutor with the DA's office, actually downstairs in this courthouse, and throughout the years, I tried just a number of cases, and drugs were always at the center of every single case I tried, whether it was a forgery case, a murder case, a theft case, drugs were always at the center. I knew that Jefferson County had a drug court program, of course, through being a prosecutor, and the seat became available. So in 2008, I resigned from the DA's office and set out to run because I really wanted to make a difference. And the truth of the matter was at the time, someone was appointed to this seat who I felt did not have the necessary experience. And instead of, just complaining about it, I talked to my husband about it. And after I talked to my husband 1 week, 2 weeks later, I was resigning from my job to run for the seat because I think everything in this building is so important, but drug court is extremely important, and I felt like the governor got it wrong at the time, and it was not our current governor. This was back in 2008, and I felt like the governor got it wrong and just placed, politics before real experience, and so I ran for the seat. Mm-hmm.
That's great, and just to interject a little bit. You know my story. Mm-hmm. I'm a heroin addict, ex-heroin addict. It's been almost 8 years, and I am a product of drug court.
Wow.
So I got arrested in 2004 for drug distribution up in Boston, and I had a probation officer who was compassionate, and he gave me multiple chances. And on one of my last chances that he gave me, actually, so I guess it would be my last chance, I found recovery, and I found hope, and so I thank you for what you do. It's amazing.
And that's what it is about. I tell people all the time that in drug court, I don't have a set number of chances that I'll give you, because that 20th chance may be the time that, that you're saved from drug addiction. And so I think drug courts are so important. And I tell the clients that we service all the time that this courtroom is unlike any courtroom in this building, in the Criminal Justice Center, because it is here specifically designed to save your life, and I truly believe that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So just for everyone that's watching and everyone that will see this video, what is the drug court process like? So let's just say I just get arrested my first time. I have drugs, and I end up in your courtroom. Walk me through that process.
Okay. What we do is, once you're arrested, I'm a district court judge, so once you're arrested, I see a defendant within days, typically, of being arrested. If you're arrested with a drug offense, you come to this courtroom, and once you are arrested, the DA's office will have your file. They will review the file, and they will more than likely offer drug court as long as there's nothing violent in your criminal history, and they do it on a case-by-case basis. We set the plea for drug court probably within I try to get them in as quickly as possible, within maybe 2 to 3 weeks of appearing in court. Once you're set for a drug court plea, I give you a speech telling you about the rules of drug court, and you report back to court to take your plea. And so probably from the date of arrest to the time that you plead into drug court, it's probably about a month to a month and a half, depending on how quickly the clerk's office can work in the Criminal Justice Center. But once you are arrested, we will do a full assessment whereby you have drug treatment. Inpatient and outpatient treatment is definitely designed for people in the program, and we tailor our drug court needs to fit the defendant here.
Well, that's great. So let's see. You've been doing this 9 years, and you've shared with us a little bit in the past, and I really think it's crucial that people know this. So between when you started, almost 9 years ago, the landscape, what you saw in your courtroom, the different charges, the different drugs, compared to now. Tell me about that.
Wow. I often say this. 9 years ago, I saw a lot of cocaine cases. I will say I saw a lot of cocaine cases. I think methamphetamine was heavier at that time. I saw a lot of methamphetamine cases. But now, heroin and opiate-based cases, hands down. This morning I took 20 drug court pleas, and I will tell you probably 15 of those involved heroin or some type of opiate. And it is amazing to see how the numbers have skyrocketed for heroin specifically. Back in 2008, I would take maybe a few heroin pleas a week, maybe 2 or 3 a week, so much so, and I've said this before, that I would be shocked when I saw heroin. Now, it is not a shocker for me to see a heroin-related case at all in the drug court program. The majority of my clients in drug court are addicted to heroin or other opiates. So the landscape of drug abuse and drug addiction has changed drastically in just a short period of time.
Wow. And I know you've said in the past that almost 90, not being exact, but 90 to 95% of your cases now have to do with opioids or heroin.
Without a doubt. And like I told you, out of 20 pleas, 15 to 16 of them are heroin or some opiate-related drug. And so in our drug court program, when we give an assessment, we have our tiers are divided up 1 through 4. Based upon that assessment that the clients are given, they will know whether they need to do outpatient treatment, because we don't want to have someone who is not really struggling as an IV heroin user. We don't want that person around someone who does not have a drug, who doesn't have a drug addiction. Like, we're trying to keep maybe pot smokers in one group, and we're trying to keep IV heroin drug users in another group, so that we can treat people individually and so that we can get to the core root of the issue.
Sure, and that makes complete sense. So if you seeing what you see with young people and heroin and stuff like that, so what would you say to a parent, today that has a teenager, that what would you say to that parent that they can do to help their kids understand, number one, opioids and heroin and pills, prescriptions are kind of the same. They're kind of the same thing. So if you could talk to a parent right now, what would you say? Oh,
wow. I would say to a parent, first off, if your child is injured, and I think the one that comes to mind more than anything are sports injuries for high school. If your child is injured in a sports injury in high school, try your best that your child not get narcotic medication. Always ask for a non-narcotic. I think it would serve your child and it would serve your child's future very well if you ask for a non-narcotic. Several of our high schoolers are addicted to opiates, and that later progresses to heroin because they have had a surgery for a sports injury, and when the prescription medication runs out, then they migrate to heroin. That's the first thing that I would tell a parent. I would tell a parent the best thing that you could do for your child is, if they are ever in surgery, to always ask for a non-narcotic, because you don't want your child to develop even an appetite for a narcotic, and especially at such a young age. Try rehabilitation in other ways for injuries. Because I can't express enough how so many people end up in my courtroom after having a valid injury and getting a valid prescription. But these drugs are what they do to your life. I mean, it is amazing to see what will happen. I will also say to a parent, absolutely, to watch the friends that your children hang around. Don't minimize any drug use. Don't minimize underage drinking. Don't minimize marijuana smoking. And to just maintain being a parent. Maintain that level of leadership over your children. Those are the things that I would say.
That's great, because we I think we would both agree that since the landscape has changed, when I was in high school, I never even heard of heroin really, and I couldn't get pills. Very few people, if any, could get pills. Well, nowadays they're everywhere.
Absolutely.
So I think that's perfect information.
And I want to say one other thing, Danny. Something else that I notice a lot with young people, and particularly college students who are in my drug court program, Adderall. Adderall is one of the most misused drugs right now amongst college students. And, they use it to help them stay up to study, and that is just an improper use of Adderall. And I would say to a parent, not to, please, watch getting your children diagnosed with anything whereby you're putting them on Adderall, because Adderall is a controlled substance, and children take that to college. They take those uses to college with them, and instead of getting rest and or saying, well, I didn't get a chance to study tonight, they just pop Adderall pills in order to stay up to study. Like, it has become like the college study aid now, and that's improper, and that leads to drug addiction, to severe drug addiction.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. I mean, when I was in my addiction, when the cocaine would run out, we'd look for someone with Adderall, and we'd crush it up, and we would sniff it, and the high was pretty much the same.
Wow.
I probably shouldn't be saying this in the courthouse, but I'm doing good nowadays, so we're good. Is the bailiff coming in?
You're good. You're with me. Okay. You're good.
So shifting gears a little bit as we wrap up, let's ending on a positive note. Can people recover? I mean, we posted a graphic about this Facebook Live, and a guy named Rob, so shout out to Rob, he commented on the graphic on Facebook, and he said, I was in Shanta Owens' drug court, and I'm doing great now. She's doing such a great work. We know that we can't help everyone, but drug court helped me in the beginning, and you helped Rob. So tell me, can people recover, and have you witnessed the transformation firsthand as people go through the drug court?
Well, you see I'm smiling. People can recover. You are evidence of that. And I see it every single day. Some days I am overwhelmed in drug court as a drug court judge because people relapse. And that's just, that's something that you deal with in addiction. People relapse, but people can recover. I see it every single day. This afternoon, we'll be hosting our last graduation ceremony of the year for drug court. And these are the happiest days for me. And to speak about Rob, Rob was in my drug court program. Rob is a success story. Rob even worked with the drug court for some time after he completed the drug court program, and to see the transformation of his life when he came into the drug court program, and then he was employed helping other people in the drug court program, like, that warms my heart. Every single day I see people that recover, and I'm excited to congratulate them on that. I'm excited for them to come back here and to help other people. There are people like you who do the work that you do. Yes, people recover, and that is the great thing about drug court. Drug court works. I mean, addiction is not an exact science, and people fall down, people relapse, but drug court works. If you keep working the program, it works. And so what I tell people all the time is that I will never give up on anybody in drug court as long as you are working this program. Now, if you stop working, then we have to think about other things. But as long as you are working this program, I will never give up on you. And that's where I get joy from. I've never personally experienced addiction, but I do think God has given me great discernment and patience for it, because you have to have patience. Like you said, I don't ever want to give an exact number of times and then I'm done with anybody. It could be the 65th attempt at treatment, but if that's the one that gets you through, then I want to be there for that one. So
that's right, and mine was probably about 20.
Yeah.
So I've been to 20 rehabs. Well, I just want to say, because of my personal experience, and there's a lot of people. There's people in this field that are trying to make a difference, and you're one of them. We're going to have haters. People are going to say, "Oh, you just want to lock people up, and you just want to do this and that." But you are one of the people that's truly making a difference. The scope of the problem. So I just want to say, from the APC, you're on our board. So we're blessed to have you on our board. So from all of us, thank you for what you do. Thank you for having us in your courtroom. It's nice to be on this side of the table. Not in handcuffs at this point. So, You know, we're doing good today.
So
thank you.
And thank you for having me anytime.
Absolutely. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Share this video, get the word out. We do have a heroin problem in Birmingham and opioids, but here's the deal. We have it all across the country. But the truth is that people do recover. We have a walk coming up February 24th, Railroad Park, the End Heroin Birmingham Walk. We'd love to have you out. Go to endheroin.org and register today, and we'll see you on the next Facebook Live video.